We're live.
All right. Well, blessings, everyone, and happy Mother's Day. This is Mother's Day 2025. You know what? This is a massively powerful year. I think we are going to see more changes this year than we ever expected. I think it's been prophesied and spoken of so many different times, but it's a good year. So I do want to say Happy Mother's Day to everybody, and good to see all of the mothers on here, all the women, whether you're a mother or not. Happy Mother's Day, blessings to you, and welcome to the gathering. I am at the Retreat Center in Tennessee, near Nashville, and so the background is not green screen. This is my background where I'm at in Tennessee. So it's a beautiful, beautiful place. And right now I have the whole place to myself, which is kind of cool. It's very, very peaceful, very quiet. So welcome everybody again. And I told everybody beforehand that I have, kind of, well, not kind of, I've sat down and gone into meditation, asking the Father, what are we going to talk about today? What are we going to talk about today? And each time was just wait, just wait. It's going to flow. So I'm just going to go with the flow. And so either he's going to flow through me with something, or he's going to flow through one of you, or he's going to flow through all of us. In fact, he will flow through all of us for sure. And we'll just see where he wants to take it today. Um, Larry and Debbie, you guys have got an ultimate impact coming up. So why don't you share a little bit about that and when that's going to start?
Yeah, so thank you, Gil. Yeah, we're going to take a little time in between. We just finished up Series 4 with the last group going through, but probably the first or second week of June, we'll start up Ultimate Impact again. We do it Friday nights at 7 Central Time, so that's 8 Eastern. You go from there. But I know we have discussed, Stephen Gill, with that about doing different things in the group besides just the Ultimate Impact. So perhaps we will be doing choice. That is, I think it's a great idea. And maybe slip my book in there a little bit too. Yep, I have a book of poems, and they lead into great discussions, and that's really what we want and have experienced in the past with the groups that we have done. So Debbie and I have been Ultimate Impact leaders for, I guess about 6 years now. And so we love it. It's a great way for us to spend our Friday nights with friends and family, as we say. That. And so it's been wonderful. So if anybody's interested, either reach out to Gil to get signed up for the course, because there is the Ultimate Impact has a course listing that you go through classes throughout the week, and then we talk about it on the Friday night. Now, the choice, if we do integrate the choice book into it, I would say highly recommend getting the book. We could probably find a way to do some things without that, but if we do integrate that choice directly into the course, I think it'd be nice to have the book. So I would recommend looking at getting into that from Amazon, maybe other places. I know Amazon's a very easy place to get books, but yeah, I guess that's it. But please, reach out. You can reach out to me directly. You can see some of the screen. You might be able to watch. I'm not sure how you do that, but pin the screen. I have the Hebrew Lab Shalom email right there. We don't watch that as close as we used to, but since I'm putting it out there, I'll be sure to check it if you want to reach out to us that way. And let us know that you'd like to join our group that gathers at, again, Friday nights, 7 o'clock Central. And for 2 hours, we're pretty tight with that schedule because, for one thing, 2 hours is quite a bit of time to be sitting and talking for one. But we try to honor the time for everybody. That way you know that you can do. But you can come and go as you wish. We're not very strict about saying, oh, hey, you've got to be here. You're going to disrupt the class. That's not at all how we run the class. It's just a big discussion. So we think they were sitting around the kitchen table having a great conversation with friends and family. So
it's culminating. Ultimate Impact, choice, expressions of being. We'll be there to talk about it.
Yeah, awesome.
Love that. Love that. Love that. Yeah. And so, I think as we continue to move forward, that, it's going to be a beautiful culmination of bringing people and the gifts that each one of you bring. And whether you are joining a group and being part of a group, or whether you're facilitating a group, I got several words trying to come out of my mouth at the same time. It just doesn't work. But anyway, there's people that I know are on here and part of the group that you could easily facilitate a group if you wanted to. You might even team up with somebody to facilitate a group. But we will have more things coming in the near future, to help facilitate those. Going to be getting some more lessons out for the choice inner circle that will help make that easier to facilitate as well. And it's just about building community. And I just want to say this again because I've had so many conversations. I don't know why or what's come up, but a lot of conversations, mainly on Facebook, people reaching out and really interested and curious about the Pearl and about this community. And encourage all of you to invite people to join this community. We're looking for people of love, joy, and peace, and that love is an unconditional love where we are able to love people whether they fit our paradigm or not, and that we just, because God loves them, right? So we can love them too, and it means that God's not reaching down and making these people different. He's not reaching down into their sovereign kingdom within and saying, you need to believe this way. He doesn't do that. Now, does that mean that every belief system is correct and right and good? No. But he's okay with people walking the walk and, going through their journey and learning the process. And to me, we just need to be the loving people that surround them and allow them to be the people they are, while at the same time, ideally, maybe, possibly seeing something in us that love that they want to be a part of as well. And so, anyway, just keeping that frequency out there of love and joy and peace, and just really touching the hearts of people around us and not feeling like we got to change everybody. So I will have some new shows coming up that are going to continue to challenge us as a group. I'm looking forward to these. I've already recorded a couple of them, working on editing them and getting them ready. Some of them are mild, but some of them are out there. And I just love these people. They're just people doing a lot of the stuff that we've already done and been doing, but they are using different language and maybe have different words that they use than we do. And the bottom line is we're looking for that love, that heart of love. So anybody have anything else they want to share?
Amen. I just want to answer one question. I had somebody ask if I've already been through the Ultimate Impact, can we do it again with you? Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Many of us have been through it many times. And again, we always say, and we bring this out several times throughout the course, because it happens while you're in the course and it happens after you've finished the course. You are not the same person that starts the course that will finish the course. You are not the same person that will begin this time around and go through it again and become another more dynamic and understanding depth of what was being said. There's so many levels of, I'll just say, understanding that Gil and Adina put together in that Ultimate Impact specifically. And then again, if we start to pull in, which we will, I can already feel it, Gil, we will definitely be pulling in the choice book. We'll have to figure out a way to make it, like you say, smooth and coherent. But yeah, there's just so many levels that we enter into by having discussions that we intend for you not to be the same person that you are when you start as you are when you leave. But also, that's just the dynamic of growth, right? If you're not growing, you're dying. And we believe that this group that we're participating with, Gil, and moving forward, is that this is a group in a place where you can grow freely. Yep, there's going to be times, and we just talked about things not always fitting, but you know what? Pruning a tree creates it even a stronger tree, right? And more fruitful. Yeah. So there's going to be some pruning. Absolutely. We believe one thing, 5 years ago, we don't believe today. And I think we believe things 5 minutes ago that we don't believe today. So it's completely dynamic and love it.
And it's not like we're pruning you. We're not telling you what to do or say.
Yeah.
Just like Gil was saying, it's all an adventure within, and we share. We'd love to hear your perspective of what's going on in your secret place of the Most High, in your place of love within, how things are moving on.
Amen. John, Evelyn?
I just wanted to say that we've gone through the course several times, and it's not just a class. There's an element of fellowship and connection and communion that takes place when you participate in the course. And also, every time we've taken the course, it's like, when did they say that? Or when I get that. And so taking it over is a worthwhile endeavor.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's been people that have taken it 8, 9, 10 times. So, and it's actually, yeah. So there's a point where you really got it and it's internalized, and you really find that freedom. And then what do? Well, you've created relationships, and you've got community, and that's the thing that I so love about this group and these, all of you, is just that we're not looking for the hype. We're not looking for the next exciting whatever to give us another thrill. I think we've all settled into that great peace that Jesus talked about, the peace that passes all understanding, and we're just settled in, and we're just enjoying each other more than anything else, the relationships that we have. And I so love what's going on. And Larry and Debbie, I love the way you guys are running your group. You've got a great communication going on through and Maxine's helping a great deal in that. I love what I see on Telegram and how you guys are doing that. Excellent. Well done. Deneen,
Yes,
go ahead.
thank you. It's become a yeah, and I do want to mention Deneen, because Deneen comes to as well, and she's got her own book. And I promoted Deneen's nights on once a month plenty of times. It's been so amazing. I'm telling you guys, if you find some time to on Monday nights once a month, first Monday of every month, Deneen does this, and she's got such a depth in her book. Again, it's something she wrote, I think, several years ago, but it speaks to everything today. And I'll let her talk about her own thing. But yeah, I highly recommend that. And maybe there's a way, Denise, we can again, we, as we have our conversations, we do pull our own or put our own emphasis on things, right? So I'll say, oh, that reminds me of my poem, of this poem, blah, blah, blah. And Deneen's probably doing the same thing when she's making a comment. She's saying, oh, yeah, this is a part of my, even though we don't maybe say it, that this is a part of my book or whatever. But yeah, so I'm sorry, there was Deneen, yeah. But yeah, just, reach out to Gil about getting the coursework. That's about the only thing that has to do. And again, we highly, for one thing, to enter the group, I've always done this in the past, Gil, and I think I'm going to continue to do so, is that to enter the group, they need to go through you for the membership part of it, the giving part of it. But that's between you and Gil. That's not part of what Debbie and I do. We're not collecting or sharing in that thing. That is part of what Gil is using as a fundraising tool, because the Ultimate Impact is absolutely worth every penny that is asked of it and more.
And we love partnering with Gil,
yeah,
and all the freedom that entails. It's beautiful.
That's right. And that's why we do participate with Telegram, trying to collect the groups and stay connected through communication as a community. So yeah.
Thank you, Larry and Debbie. I so appreciate that. And I want to state this for Norman. So Norman, hopefully you're hearing and can take a note of this. But so, we're working on getting the new website up. Norman is heading that. And I just want to say, I think we need to make sure that we have a calendar on the website that people can go to under the events section, and it would have it there by the month. And so that, what each and every person that's doing something can have a place on the calendar, so that when people go to, you can just say, yeah, just go to the events calendar on the website, and you'll find everything that's going on with this community, and you'll be able to click on it, have it take you to, wherever it needs to go to register and get in contact with the people that are leading that. It'd be awesome. All right, Deneen, go ahead.
Yeah. One of the things that I find valuable is that it doesn't matter how many times you have heard something, because of the vastness and the depth and height and width of the word that God breathes into each of us. It's just never redundant. Even when we hear something more than one time, it matters not, because the part that was unable to be absorbed yesterday will be absorbed tomorrow, because we are constantly changing, and we are constantly evolving. So it's like I always use, chronological third dimension analogies like Jesus did, a parable. When I was 3, I was not able to understand the same thing I understood at 13. And when I became 13, I don't understand the same things in the way that I did at 23, and so forth and so on. So, what I find is because of the openness and the lack of control, we are free to embrace what God is giving us at a particular time. And that oftentimes, I believe it takes us outside of the control box where we have to assimilate. But what I've learned in environments like this is that if we keep our minds open to the possibilities of all the things that we are able to be, we already are, but the awakening of it, all of the things that we are able to be, it is so enriching, and it's boundless, and it is so freeing, because liberty is something that brings about some of the things that we aspire to have, peace, the manifestation of being able to walk out love, not just have an ideology of it, but walk it out, without insecurities and contention, and all of the things that take us into the realm of fear. When I believe when we're in this environment, and I really appreciate it, even when when I listen to some of you guys talk about the opposition, the thing about it is, for me, it's I have a closed ear to it, because everybody's not going to understand everything. And for me, whenever someone is speaking about any person or anything in the realm of negativity, what I find is that the 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 way they think that they probably are not. The self-righteousness. They think they're walking in love and they're protecting something. First of all, we have not been charged to be protectors. Our position in the earth realm is to love. God is our refuge, right? I don't need to go around thinking I'm doing this duty to the world, because I'm, denouncing somebody's belief system that doesn't fit into the little box that I created. What I really love about this group, and I have said this in different ways to, John and Evelyn and Larry and Debbie, I've said this, I appreciate the acceptance. I appreciate the liberty. I appreciate the constant expansion of my understanding of things, because I've been given the freedom. Because really, that's why it's changing. When we're in that bound situation, it's like you really get stagnated, But when you're free, in spite of you, it's like I'm not trying to achieve anything. I'm just being. And as a result of just being, it's just happening. And that is like it makes your day go better, your week go better. When you're going through all of the weeds and the tribulations in life, we have this to hold on to. I look forward to coming to meet with you guys. And sorry, Gail, I meant to call you Friday. I didn't, or send you a message because I didn't show up. But I forgot. But I usually like to do that because that's a part of relationship. It's not a requirement. I just do it because it's a part of being in a relationship. I try to, let you guys know when I'm not coming, when I remember to do that. So, yeah, that's it.
Yeah. And again, that's family, that's community. And I love each and every one of you. And I love what's happening here. Sure, we've kind of pared things down. It's like the trimming of the tree. It was a time and a season to kind of trim things down. And not that anything I did or anybody else did, but just through the seasons, in the last 6-9 months, there's been a paring down. And what's happened is we've come down to the real meat of what this group is about. And I'm trusting that we're creating bonds in relationships that are going to last. And again, it's made in peace, it's made in love. We're not out trying to find the next thrill of, some esoteric knowledge or anything like that. But we're walking in, each other's visions. We're walking in each other's words and each other's understanding of things. And it's not like we're being told or that we have to believe the way that this person believes or that person believes, but we're simply in an environment where we're getting to share these things. And I think most of us, like I said, are in a place where I'm not interested in just finding esoteric knowledge so it can build up my ego. I'm not interested in that at all. What I am interested in is just a peaceful place where we can build relationships with one another. And some of you that are on here, I know you maybe haven't spoken up, you haven't joined in the conversation, but I have seen your name in here over and over and over, and I just encourage you to stick around. And I encourage you to, when you're ready and when you want to, you are part of the family, and to feel like you have not just the privilege, but the right as a family member to share your thoughts. Again, we're not trying to make anybody else believe the way we believe, but we want to hear what you think. We want to have you share what you are going through and what you're learning. But yeah, I just really love this group. I love all of you. It's been really good. And being Mother's Day, I want to go back to honoring specifically the mothers and the women on here today, just because you guys have been so critical. And I wrote something, I put it on Facebook. I don't know if all of you have seen it, but just that you have been instrumental in shaping the consciousness of these little ones as they're growing into, awareness. And both parents, and there's other people of influence as well, but the mother has an extremely special place in that development of the consciousness of those individuals. And does anybody do it perfectly? No, no. But for you to just understand that, I think every single one of you did your best, and you did the best with whatever you had, and that you should just be able to give yourself a pat on the back, love yourself for the what you did, and be okay with that. Some of you, we've all screwed up. We've all screwed up here and there, and maybe more so than some others. But again, you are the journey of that person. You are in that journey of that person that you raised. And it's a massive, massive responsibility. And you're playing your part. So I believe everything happens for a purpose. We're here for an experience. And we've all come here, knowing that there's going to be challenges. Some of you know my background, maybe not everybody, but had a pretty challenging childhood, as many of you have, and yet I see my parents as my heroes. It's like, man, they did a good job of doing what they needed to do in order for me to be the person I am today. I've learned to love through a lot of crap, and here's the amazing thing to me, and I hope this just blesses all of you and that you all can find your way through this as well. But I learned to love myself in places, under conditions that, kind of had a lot of things going against me. And even in that, I still managed to find a way through to love myself. Had it been easy, then that love for myself wouldn't be as strong as it is today. And when I say strong, I'm just saying it's a solid foundation. Uh, there's not much that can shake me off of that foundation, even though, it's not perfect, it's not 100%, but it's so much better than it used to be. And that's what makes a really solid, fruitful ground for anybody to love others well, to love them sincerely, and to love God. I think I said this in the last week or two, but just putting it in the opposite language so that people can really understand it. But you want to know one of the best ways to spit in God's face is just talk badly about yourself, think badly about yourself, you know? So what would be the opposite of that? Have gratitude. Really look to yourself and in yourself and what God's done in you, and be grateful for what he's done. Be grateful for who and how he made you, and just to love yourself. That's how we love God. That's a massive way to love God well. So I give you all permission, and anybody listening who's not learned how to do that, I seriously encourage you and give you permission to love yourself well, to find that space and place where you can be kind to yourself, you be good to yourself, you treat yourself well, because you deserve it. And it's just something, again, that if you love yourself well, you will love others well, and you will love God well. So again, just honor you mothers, because you helped shape that consciousness. And even though you may think you messed somebody up, nope, you didn't mess anybody up. You just gave them the challenges that they were meant to have, so that they could learn to love themselves through it, and they become the stronger one for it. So anyway, I love you guys. Anybody have anything else you want to share, or any questions? All right. Well, let's go ahead and go into meditation then. Oh, go ahead, Janine, go ahead. And Kelly?
I won't take a super long time. I just wanted to say also, agreeing with you on where you said that's how we love God. It's also how we receive the love of God.
Yeah.
You cannot
Yeah.
fully receive the love of God unless you've learned to love yourself and accept yourself exactly as you are. So
Yeah, so good. So good.
It's been a big thing for me. That's been a real like life changer for me. So I wanted to share that.
It's, to me, I have no qualms about just saying it is the key to really starting your life in the right direction. That multitude of issues and problems in our hearts and in our lives are taken care of when we learn to love ourselves well. And it at least puts us on a path and a journey that pulls us in the right direction when we can love ourselves well. I mean, yeah, so many issues that are dealt with when you just learn to love yourself well. Yeah. Thank you, Janine. Anyone else? Okay. Well, let's go ahead and move into meditation time. And so anybody who's new to this, just encourage you to find a place to get really comfortable. We all know that when the body's sick or hurting, that it's kind of challenging to enter into a deep spiritual, place. But when so taking that into consideration, that it's hard to enter into the spirit realm when you're hurting. Also, just imagine if you can get your body into the perfect place of peace. You get your body in the perfect place of peace and rest, then it makes it so much easier to enter into the spirit realm. So we're going to do that. Go ahead and let's start the music there, Norman, and just want everybody to get relaxed and find a place and a space so that you can just rest. And we'll go ahead and start that meditation. So we're going to do deep breaths. I encourage you a deep breath in through the diaphragm, fill your chest, and then as if into the center of your brain, 3-part breath. And just bring that oxygen in, and just as you hold it there, take that breath in, hold it there, and let it out slowly, and just relax as you do that. So Norman, can we go ahead and get that music going? Hopefully, there we go. All right. So take a deep breath, and just want you to begin to slow everything down. Slow everything down. Just think of your own heart and your own life, everything about you. Just let it all go for a moment. Let it all go. We're just going to slow down your thought process. Even slow down the vibration of your body. Just come into a place of peace and rest. Another deep breath. Just let that one go. Let it clear your thoughts. Just listen to the sound of my voice to stay focused. And if some of you are going other places, that's perfectly fine. Otherwise, if you're struggling to stay focused, just listen to my voice. Just find that peace and that rest. Just going to scan the entire body on this next breath and just look for places of tension and just choose to let it go. So deep breath. Hold it for a few seconds. Let it out slowly as you scan your body and let go of all the tension, all the stress. You're loved beyond measure, beyond anything you could ever understand. You are love. God made you from his love, from his essence. His essence is love. And you are a piece and a part of the divine. You are that love. So let go of anything that's not reflecting that love of God. Let it go. Be blessed. Know that you're blessed. The world can be falling apart around you, but your internal kingdom is full of peace because you choose it. You're the one that gets to manage that inner kingdom. You're the only one that has the right and the authority to let something into that kingdom or to push something out. So let's push out the stress. Just gently lead it out of your kingdom. You don't need it in your inner kingdom. And as you lead it out, I want you to open the door to peace, gentleness, kindness, the love of God. I see Holy Spirit coming into the scene. She wants to enter into your heart, into that kingdom space. And let her in. Choose to let her in. She is the mother. She is the feminine of the Godhead. And she wants to nurture you. She wants to love on you. She wants to heal your wounds with that wonderful balm of love on those wounds and allow them to heal. She wants to bolster your heart with strength and the knowing that you're okay. You did a good job. You've done a wonderful job. You've been who you needed to be. And those that you nurtured got what they needed in the time that they needed. Even if you hurt someone, yes, you want to make amends, you want to bless them, but at the same time, understand that anybody that we've hurt has a choice and a responsibility to respond in love as well. Not that we do those things on purpose, but in community it's going to happen, in family it's going to happen. And so just understand that that's our opportunity to grow. Beautiful, beautiful opportunity to communicate, to love each other, to grow in that experience. You have grown a lot. You've helped others grow a lot. Be blessed in that. Take a deep breath. Just relax into that fact. You have grown a lot. You've helped others grow a lot. I honor you. God honors you. Each and every one of you, male and female alike. God honors you and loves you. He respects your sovereignty. He doesn't come in and try to make you believe what he wants you to believe. You get to choose. But we're all, I feel safe to say, we're all on a journey to find truth and to go deeper in love, deeper in peace, deeper in joy. And so we get to do this together. Together as a community, together as a family. None of us, not one of us, lording it over anybody else. But we simply share, and we bless each other when we share our authenticity of who we are. When we're sharing that authenticity, we're blessing the universe with our presence. Jesus says at one point that he says, "Depart from me, I never knew you." These were people that were trying their best to earn his love, doing signs and wonders and miracles in his name, And yet they never realized the whole time they were creating a facade, trying to create value for themselves so that they could win and enter into the kingdom. When the reality is, you're already in the kingdom. You have nothing to prove. God loves you just the way you are. God created you to be you, not somebody else, not trying to earn your way into anything, but just to be you and to know that you and you alone are more than enough. That your inner kingdom is yours to rule and reign in. And yes, we let Jesus in. We ask him to help us to sit on that throne and to be there with us so that he can guide us and teach us. But you, ultimately, the one who chooses. You're the one that makes the final choice in your inner kingdom. Not even God himself does that. You are the one who makes that choice. Because God's given you that sovereignty and that autonomy. Without it, there can be no real love. You have to have the ability to choose, and you have it. You have it. Father loves you so, so dearly. Holy Spirit loves you dearly. Jesus loves you dearly. This community loves each and every one. We love one another. We walk in that love. We're blessed in that love. It creates a bond that can last through eternity. Likely we all knew each other before we came here, and now we've found each other in this realm. And it's just beautiful not to have our relationships built on who can find the most esoteric knowledge and be of more value than somebody else, but no, we all have something. We all bring something to the table. And I, for one, want to hear what you bring because you're valuable. And when you're being you and you're being authentic, you're not hiding behind somebody else or old programming that told you you weren't enough, when you're not hiding behind any of that, and you just choose in boldness to step forth with who you are, to share your heart, to share your thoughts, to ask your questions. That creates a powerful, powerful community. And each and every one of you are loved. You're loved by the mother of all of us, Holy Spirit. She's been nurturing you all along. And we honor her today on Mother's Day. We honor each of you women who have, again, been so instrumental in shaping the consciousness. Everyone here was mothered to one degree or another. And the consciousness that each of us are in right now was shaped by a mother to a great degree, a large degree. Most of us, almost all of us, have someone to honor and respect. So right now, I just want each and every one of you to think of the one who mothered you the most. Or maybe you have several people that mothered you through your life. And to honor them right now, just send them love, send them honor, send them respect from your own heart. Bless them wherever they're at so that they can receive it. Maybe they don't know, maybe they'll never feel it, but send it to them. Send it to them so that vibration and frequency gets to touch them today and to bless them. frequency of the peace and the love and the joy. Let it stay with you the rest of this day, even the rest of your life. You get to choose that. You can go back to these spaces and places where we just enter in to love and joy and peace. And we let that be the thing that rules and reigns from our inner kingdom. Take a deep breath. Go ahead and begin to return to the space and this place. When you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes. And if any of you have anything to share, anything you'd like to say, Larry, go ahead. I'm going to step away for just a moment, but go ahead and share. And anybody else who wants to share, go ahead, but I'll be right back.
All right. Awesome. Yeah, that was good. Good meditation. I started to ponder on mother and wife. So first off, I do want to honor my mom for the woman that she was and the son that she raised me to be. But I really want to focus on my wife because when we were married, she had Proverbs 31 read as part of the ceremony. And so I knew that I was marrying a Proverbs 31 woman, which I didn't even really know much about. But I've come to find that Debbie is that woman. And so if you don't mind, it's taking me a little bit of time, but I want to read the Proverbs 31, 10 through 31, which is the main gist about the woman. It says, so, and maybe I'll stop after reading some of it, but a wife of noble character, who can find, as a question mark after that. She is worth far more than rubies. Her husband has full confidence in her and lacks nothing of value. She brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life. She selects wool and flax and works with eager hands. She is like the merchant ships bringing her food from afar. She gets up while it is still night. She provides food for her family and portions for her female servants. She considers a field and buys it. Out of her earnings, she plants a vineyard. She sets about her work vigorously. Her arms are strong in her tasks. She sees that her trading is profitable, and her lamp does not go out at night. In her hands, she holds and distaffs the grass, the spindle with her fingers. She opens her arms to the poor and extends her hands to the needy. You know what? I'll just stop right there. But highly, highly recommend reading that and reminding yourself of who the women are in our lives that bring about this stability and comfort and the nurturing. And I just so honor Debbie for the way she has made a home for us, the way that she provides continually as a wife to me and really our family. Even though we are here alone in Alabama, we still have relationship with family and friends that come in. And so I just adore her for the way she established our home and brings life and love, and it's beautiful. So, and I also wanted to just say real quickly that I was also in the meditation thinking about Adam and Eve, and Eve being the mother. But, she's given such a bad rap in the sense of what happened at the garden. But I don't see it that way anymore. I begin to see that was this beautiful love story that she wanted to experience God in the most intimate way possible. And in the actual verses, there's a place where the word snake is used and deception. But there's within those Hebrew words, there are little signs. And one of those signs is that I think it's snake. It says guessing, and it's about the cunningness of the snake. There is the idea that Eve had an intuition, a cunningness to know that this was the only way. that they could break the separation, become one again with the Father, is by going through the experience they had to outside the garden. So anyways, I honor the woman for their intuition, their way of seeing. Now I'm thinking of my mother. She knew when I was not having a good day, and she would ask, well, how are you doing? Of course, the first words are, I'm fine. But of course, every mother knows that that's not the true answer, right? And so you either give them a little space, depending on probably how sharp that response is, or you ask them again in a different way. But you always begin to say, yeah, well, so and so, such and such, and it breaks out and allows us to release it, right? And I think that's so important, so that we don't hold on to these traumas and dramas in our lives that cause real suffering. To be honest, it causes the PTSD that builds up, in my opinion. So even with little things, right? I think that's how those little things become PTSD, is because we don't let them go. Now, that is not to say that PTSD from a major trauma that is hard to let go, right? It's literally, in my opinion, kind of engraved in you. It's pushed into you. And it's going to take some pushing to get it out, right? And perhaps it even leaves a scar or a mark, right? And so it doesn't always leave continuously, but we have to learn to deal with those traumas. But anyways, the mother is such an important part of mankind, of making a man, so that we can become good fathers. And I really do believe God put that on the onus of a good mother and a good father to make that their sons and daughters to be good spouses, that maturity that comes about. So love and honor you, honey.
Oh, wow.
Thank you, sweetie.
Thank you so much.
All right.
So beautiful.
Did you have something, sweetie?
Well, the only thing right at the end really touched on what I experienced during the meditation, was that I am the mom now, and I am love. And it's from that inner place, my inner relationship with Jesus, that everything blossoms and grows.
So good. Love that. That is so, so good, so true. When we can all find the peace just to live from the inner kingdom and know that we are the ones who get to choose what goes on in here. We can allow the outside to affect it, or we can choose to affect the outside with what we have here, and understand just how powerful you are, to be able to affect the outside with what's in here, instead of letting the outside affect what's in here. You're powerful. Thank you, Larry and Debbie. Janine and Kelly, go ahead.
Yeah, I just would like to honor my wife and all the things that I've seen over the years of our almost 22 years, and the mother that she is, and honor my mother. But the main focus, I guess, would be what I saw during our time. I saw Mama Ruwak over the all of us, with a light rain started coming, and it's a renewal, it's cleansing, it's change, it's sustenance. And then at the end, the clouds parted and we had a beautiful rainbow over. So
beautiful. Thank you, Kelly.
Yeah.
Love that. Anyone else? There may be some of you who have been challenged because you think about your childhood, and when you think about it, it may just kind of conjure up a lot of negativity. But at the same time, if we can begin to see that the challenges that you went through, whatever trauma, however traumatic, I'm not justifying any of it. I'm not saying it's all good, but I'm just saying that those were the opportunities that we get even now to choose to love how we respond. And, for me, that happened literally just 2 years before my mother passed. And I was able to honor her unlike I was any other time, because unfortunately, most of my life I despised her. I had no respect for her because of what she had done. But then at least, the last 2 years, I was able to just really dote on her and honor her. And for me, it was a beautiful thing. So, Deneen, you had your hand up, didn't you? Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. I just want to say, I did not appreciate my mother when I was young, but as I matured, she became very significant. And I learned to accept her just the way she was. And my mother was very stoic, and she had high clearance job with the government, and she traveled around the world, and she took us with her, and she knew some secrets that caused her problems with the government, and I believe that they were instrumental in for her having a early demise. She was stressed a lot, and she tried to warn my sister and I about things that now I hear people talking about all the time, the quantum physics stuff and different things, some of the artificial intelligence. Our government has known about this stuff for decades, centuries. I mean, I don't know how long, but my mother, she was privy to some of that. And so she would try to warn us about our behavior and the things that we would do without telling us stuff. Because for years, we didn't know specifically what my mother did. My mother was a token African American woman because it was a quota that needed to be met with minorities, women and African American, and she fit the bill because of her intelligence. She was able to do a certain type of job. I had a very, very intelligent mother and a very intelligent father. And I didn't appreciate either one of them really because they were just so strict. I mean, it was like incredible. When I was in college, I had to be home by midnight. And of course, college kids were staying on campus. I went to a local college, a university, and she said, I don't care what the other kids are doing. This is what you're doing. And so I just despised her, and I wanted another mother. Right? And stuff. I was like, she is just not nice and she's not fair. And I said, my other friends, they're friends with their mother. She would say, I'm not your friend. I'm your mother. I mean, she was just so matter of fact, and she never raised her voice. She was always just a matter of fact about everything. And yet, once I became an adult, a real adult, not chronologically, but I started realizing the beauty of this woman who tried to give her two daughters every opportunity to have, the world is their oyster, in spite of the opposition that came up against us because of the color of our skin. My mother taught us so much, and I could not appreciate anything at that time. And now, guys, I sit in my room alone and cry because I feel sad that I wasn't able to appreciate her longer. And towards the end of her life, and she wasn't sick or anything, she died suddenly. That's why, I believe in my mother. She had, Johnny Cochran and Clarence Mitchell, all these big power lawyers working on her side. And she would drag me with all these cases and stuff. She had all of this information against the government because she knew stuff. And this is true. So I can talk about it now because, who cares? My mother's gone on to glory. They know I don't know crap. So, I can speak freely about things that I not only did not understand, but I didn't even understand how to articulate at that time. But if I had known what I know now, I would have been so much more supportive of her. I threw temper tantrums. I was a brat, guys. I just need to tell you. Talking about a narcissist, I was a brat. I thought she owed me something. And because she was so mean, I thought that was mean, but she was being protective. So today I honor and I celebrate my mother because of the things that she put in me that I rejected. I have absorbed now. And the reason why I'm able to talk to you guys the way I'm able to talk to you is because the seeds that were planted that I tried to reject, they were planted and they took root. And as a result, many people, yeah, I mean, oh gosh, I mean, my ability to be amongst any type of people, I'm talking about from Yale to jail, from one end of the world to the other, that's all because of my mother. I never harbored resentments. I never felt, I don't know really what prejudice feels like. My mother did that. She was so insistent on this thing about this thing that we now think is such a new, phenomena. My mother was teaching us how to love unconditionally all the time without, any type of animosity, learning how to love our enemy. She poured in principles, Christ-like principles, without calling them that. It was just the way she handled us day by day. I never heard her say a cuss word except one time, which was, I'm going to say this, shut up, because I could go on and on about my mother, but it was so funny. My mother was very small for years. And then she started picking up weight. Some of you probably, I told this story to. And we were in this store, my sister and I. It was just us two, and we're 7 years apart. And she was trying to put on something that she couldn't fit anymore. It was not her size anymore, but she was determined that she was not going to go up another size. And my sister and I, we were in the dressing room. We were sprawled out over the floor, laughing with tears coming out our eyes. And we were we were in hysterics. And she leaned over because she wasn't physically abusive. She leaned over with her hand and it never hit us. She said, I'm going to smack your mouth. And when she said that, we felt more. It was like that was hysterical for us to hear her cuss and then to pretend that she was hitting us. All of that stuff was just hysterical. She was like, she couldn't even make the hand hit her mouth. She was just so, she was just so like that, right? My sister and I, to this day, we crack up about that because this woman was so good. She was just so good. And we never appreciated. She took care of us and she exposed us to things that most people, no matter what culture you come from, unless you were really, wealthy and stuff. And we weren't. She made up more than most of her contemporaries, but we were by no means wealthy. I guess we would be called upper middle class, or whatever. I guess, I don't know, in the scale, because I didn't appreciate nothing that she did at the time. So, but I know I never wanted for anything, and we traveled around the world. So I know everybody now, I know that everybody wasn't able to do that. But she made such an impact in my life, guys, that I'm beyond the words of articulation. I guess that's why I'm rattling on. I'm beyond the emotion that I have gained for my mother, and I honor her today as she has transitioned to another place, because to me, she's not dead, she's yet alive. And we are so, oh my goodness, my sister and I are so much more connected to her now than we were when we did not appreciate her, so yeah.
So good. Beautiful. Thank you, Deneen. Thank you. Marilee, go ahead.
Whew.
There we go. Yeah, it's amazing how our perspectives change, and I'm so grateful for that. For many years of my life, I felt very unmothered because of my mother's personality. She was very introverted, and various other factors just made her even more introverted. She was a musician. Um, Everything she did exceedingly well. She was just an amazing person. But I didn't appreciate that as a child because she didn't want me, for instance, to help her in the kitchen or to show me anything because she was in a hurry. She was perfectionist, and she used to say to me, "No, you'll just make a mess." So, as a child, that to me felt like a lot of rejection. I felt unloved by her, etc., etc. But looking back, I was so privileged. I had three mothers. My granny on my father's side, she was the penultimate granny. She was soft and gentle, and I was unashamedly a favorite grandchild. And I used to visit on the farm and just live in absolute love, being loved from when I woke up in the morning until I went to bed at night. I was very scared of my mom's mother when I was little because she was fierce, man. And now that I'm older, I realize I take after her. I am so much like her. And when I was a teenager, she was my mother through my teenage years. She was the one that understood how to deal with me, how to get me through the. My mom was embarrassed about me growing up and becoming a young woman. It embarrassed her, but my granny helped me through all of that. And she was absolutely wonderful. And in later years, my mom, if every morning I went to work, I would first phone my mom and have a conversation with her. So I honor those three women. I am so grateful for them. Looking back, they were amazing, amazing people that each one of them played a completely different role in my life. And I am so grateful for each and every one of them. So, yeah.
Again, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Marilee. Love that. John and Evelyn, go ahead.
Janine and Kelly had their hand raised before me and it kind of dropped. Did you still have
Yeah,
something?
I turned it off.
Oh, okay. Train already left the station.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, I'm struck with how different stories about moms, how they sewed into us and we didn't appreciate it as young people, but that seed sprouted and we realized, in an older state that, wow, they really did sow something important in me that changed my character or developed or guided or all of that. And so that I just wanted to
yeah,
make what I'm seeing there. Wow.
yeah. It is amazing, and one of the things that when my mom passed, shortly thereafter, I saw her in a vision, and I saw her in all of her splendor and all of her glory. And the thing that came across was that what she brought into this realm, and she passed on to me, was love and unity, even though it was a mess. And it was kind of a messy way of getting. She did her best. Let me just say it that way. But the message was very clear, and it got through to me very, very clearly. And it's always been from day one for me. I want to see people come together in unity and love, and that's it. I just believe that's the heart of God, and that's something that she put in me, and beautiful and it's powerful. Janine and Kelly, go ahead.
Yeah, I exactly. I think I just want to resonate with what you said earlier, Gil, about the fact that each one, whether we're talking about moms or dads or just friends, or we each give to others exactly what they need. It's part of the manifold wisdom of God, the way that it all
Right.
comes together.
Come on.
So, you know, my mama has passed on amazing faith. You know, there were a lot of things in our childhood that were difficult, and both parents, it was very, very difficult. Um, but she always had this faith. Like, she had a faith to believe for things. Sometimes even she would forget it, but she modeled it and it came through her. And I definitely honor that, because I have a faith to believe for the impossible that I know came through her.
So
In,
good.
you know, without looking at all the other things, because like you said, she did the best that she could with what she had. I've done the best that I could with what I had. You know, I've gotten to see that really straight up and personal, because the way I raised my older four boys is not the way I would raise them now. You know, and I was
Mhm.
trying to do better than my parents when I did that. So and then just to resonate with Deneen, when you said that you feel more connected to your mom now, you know, I just wanted to acknowledge that, because it's, you know, it's my dad, it's not my mom in this case, but I spent my whole life, I am wired for connection on an extra level. Like, it's just a relational thing, it's just part of the way that I'm made. And he was extremely avoidant in this realm, and struggling, and lots of anxiety, and I always felt like I missed out on having a dad. When he finally passed away, I discovered this 9-year-old. This was 13 years ago. 9-year-old still in me that was ticked off because he never showed up in my mind. But you know what? Through the things that I have experienced in recent years, understanding the cloud of witnesses and encounters that I've had, I have a relationship with my dad that I never dreamed I would have. And I thought when he left here, that was over, that my opportunity was over. And now I sit back and I'm thinking, wow, I actually, all that time, it was already true that I was going to experience that. And all those years, I thought, you know what I mean, that I was missing something, that I lacked something, that I was never going to have that. And that was the greatest wound of my life. And it's just been turned into something so beautiful now. I can hear him laughing at times with different things that go on. And I wake up with, he played the steel guitar, Hawaiian steel guitar. And I will wake up with songs. I've always done that my whole life. I've woken up with music, and it's just always been a thing. But I know when it might be him going, "Hey, I'm around, paying attention. You know, I'm watching, I'm blessed, and I'm cheering
Yeah.
you on," because it'll be something that I haven't heard in 30 years, and he was the only one who ever played it. So it's just fun. It's fun,
Yeah.
and I'm grateful for the kingdom and the fact that this can even be something that I get to experience. That there's so much more than we've understood, and it's not limited the way that we thought.
Right. So good. And it's so good to break out of those programs, right? The programming that a lot of the, and it's not, well, it mainly came from church environment, but at the same time, the world has picked it up. So it's interesting that the world has picked up on so much of the programming that the church is powerful. It is powerful, and it has affected the world, even though, out of 8 billion people, supposedly only 2 billion claim to be Christians. um, that's a major impact. It is still the largest, religion in the world, and yet, it's interesting how so many of the things that the church has taught that were not necessarily correct, the world has picked it up and passed it on, and it keeps getting passed on. But I shared something just recently, how, the minute we're conceived, in the mother, the minute we're conceived, we are getting programmed, because that mother has got either love, joy, peace, some emotion going on, and those are chemicals flowing through the body, and the fetus gets that. So you're getting that the moment you're conceived. You're getting that. You're beginning the programming. And again, if we chose to come here and we chose, well, I don't know if we chose our parents or not. Some people believe we do, but if you chose that, then you knew what was coming. We knew, and I love the idea of it because it takes away the victim mentality. If you really can tap into that, it takes away the victim mentality to say, I chose those parents, I knew what was coming, and I went for it because I knew that they would give me the challenges I needed to grow in love. And it is a beautiful concept. I
I
love it.
personally really resonate with that, Gil. I resonate
Mhm.
with sitting with, however that looked. Who knows what that looked like as a luminary within the being of Yahweh,
Mhm.
but we had a conversation and we made a plan, and I agreed to come and be a part of revealing the manifold wisdom. And every piece was essential, and I really, I spent years saying that if I wouldn't be for not having my boys, I wish I hadn't married the first time. Now I don't say that anymore. I actually believe that I came
Yep.
to go deeply into all of the family patterns in my family and in his, and
Yep.
to really experience all of that, sit in that, and come through it on the other side, knowing that I am still love and the expression of love, which is what is going on here. So I resonate very deeply with that. That
Yeah.
means a lot to me. And like you said, it takes away the victimhood. We're here for a purpose. And
Right.
it is the revelation of the manifold wisdom of God.
So good. So good. Thank you, Janine. Larry and Debbie, go ahead.
Hallelujah. Yeah, I want to share something about my mom and my grandmas. And I actually, in my perspective of this, was that my mom was actually the Proverbs 31 woman. My grandmas were the Proverbs 31 women. They were strong, strong women of faith. And I spent my time trying to live up to that. I tried to form myself from the outside in. I tried to behave correctly and model everything on the outside to be like them. And it wasn't until I realized that they were simply acting from the spirit of love within themselves and flowing with God and carrying out everything that was meant for them to do. I mean, sure, my mom and I we locked horns, we had trauma moments, we had all that stuff that life brings. But the moment I realized that my mom was a human and not something as ethereal as, so many people come up to her and call her an angel. And I remember going to find a puppy from a litter, and realizing that all the puppies had migrated onto my mom's feet. She was just standing there and they all congregated on her feet. Things like that. She so carried the spirit of God well. Oh my goodness. And realizing that that is what she was doing. It wasn't all these outside things that I was trying to conform myself into being. It was actually that relationship, that inner knowing, loving everything about that, and letting that permeate my entire body. So in essence, loving me, loving my divine self. That was a big change for me. It wasn't out here, it was in here that emanated out there. So
Love that.
thank
So
you.
good. So good.
Something, Gil, you said only 2 billion of the 8 billion, but I think we're all religious. What
Mhm.
structure, though, are we carrying? that engages with the matrix, right? We
Yeah.
have our Christian matrix that defines many things that are going on. But, of course, there's many other religions that have, millions, if not billions of people as well. I don't know, the numbers, but even the ones who say I don't have a religion have a religion is what I wanted to say there.
Yeah.
And I was wondering if there's anybody else who has, we'll say dabbled. I don't know. That's probably a trigger word for some, but the idea of Gaia, right? Mother Earth. I would love to talk about that today if it could be a part of the
That's
conversation.
where I was going to go. I was going to go there next, Larry. That's
Cool.
So interesting. That's because I actually thought about joking about it and just saying, all right, it's Mother's Day, so let's talk about Gaia. Because and it's not. We got to be careful that we don't try to take one thing and make it the thing, but to understand, like we were learning with, in the ultimate impact, it's not this or that, it's this and that. And there's so many things that are this and that. And so this is, to me, is one of the this ands, but to look at Mother Earth and the concept, I just love it. The idea that, I'm dirt, you're dirt, we're all of the earth. That is a piece and a part of who we are right now in this realm. We are of the earth. There's no way to get around that. So yeah, it's like, yes, it's like the two came together. The spirit of Father God, who is love and created all things and created the earth as well, but then comes together, and between that spark of life, God the Father, and Mother Earth, we become these living beings. We become, in the Old Testament, I can't remember where. I think it's in Genesis, obviously, but it says that God breathed. He forms, man out of the dirt, of the dust, the dirt of the earth, and then He breathes into them. So I mean, there you go. It's like dirt, Spirit of God makes a living soul, and we're all living souls in this realm because of the combination of the Spirit of God, the breath of God, and the dirt. And here we are. It's amazing to really contemplate and to think about. It's beautiful. So yes, we have truly a Mother Earth that we can honor and respect. For me, that comes as part of the eco village, living with the earth, living with, the earth, and restoring it, because that's my mama, and I want to take care of her. That's another mother that we all have that we want to take care of, because it is our source of life in this realm for the body, and something to keep in mind. John, go ahead.
Kick off real quick. I wanted to say the statement has really helped me to understand partly the phrase that God has given us everything. I guess it says leads to life and godliness. But the idea that someone had said, there is nothing that we can touch or experience that is not either mined or grown. It either comes out of the earth or it grows on the earth.
Yep.
There is nothing physical in this realm that is not of those two places. And then I agree with you that the layer of spirituality that inhabits this place, that is something that is maybe nothingness that becoming something. But I'll just leave it at that as thoughts. But that really triggered me or inspired me. It's like, you're right. Everything is mined or grown.
Yep.
So the scripture that's coming to me is the leaves of the trees are for the healings of the nations.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Thrown in there.
Yeah, so people that get bent out of shape. I mean, I know this isn't going to sit well with a lot of people, but even the drugs that are manufactured, the cell phone that I'm working on right now, the computers that some of you are working off of, it's still all of the earth. It's still all of the earth. Now, can we create some amalgamations with our human combinations? Sure, but in the end, it's still all of the earth, and even plastic, which is a horrible one that takes forever to disintegrate, and be, kind of merged back into the earth. It does eventually get merged back into the earth. The earth, our mama, she'll take care of it. Given enough time, she'll take care of it.
Beautiful.
So go ahead, John.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, well, I'm so grateful for my mother, who bore 14 of us. And one of my sisters one time asked my mom why she had so many children. And she said, well, your father wouldn't leave me alone. So I'm grateful that he didn't leave her alone. I might not be here. Yeah.
Yeah, right, right.
And
The way it works.
well, my father passed away when I was 15. So it was like when my older brothers were gone, I was in high school, and my last year in school, I was kind of in charge of the animals, and we had 100 cattle and all that stuff. But she never ever really told me what to do. She was the one that helped me become a man. With those responsibilities, she just left it to me and my younger brothers to take care of what needed to be taken care of. And so I really appreciate that of her. And, she allowed me to make decisions. And she gave me a robe once for Christmas. It was a robe of many colors.
Mhm.
So
Wow.
that got me thinking about, I'm a little different than all the other ones all my siblings. And she must have had the intuition that I was something like Joseph, going out and wanting to be somebody who actually was different. And she gave me the name John. I asked her once, why did you give me the name John? Because I was getting to the idea of what John meant, beloved of God. So that's my path, was to be a lover of God. And the other thing I wanted to say about mothers was, well, we had Barbara Simmons. She's a spiritual mama. I just finished reading her second book, or the one where all her musings were in, and I so appreciate that she had the guts to step out and follow what her Christ within was leading her into. So I resonate with everything that she writes in her musings, and that I'm just so thankful for spiritual mothers like that who were willing to become what she has become and what she has faced with people who called her a heretic and all this kind of stuff, but she stood firm, and we have someone who recognized what was going on. Like, one of the things she said was, this whole thing about fear. I forget the name of the guy who did a survey of 11 different groups, and the evangelical group was number 10 in the most feared group. The only group that was more fearful was prostitutes. So that says something that is not too inviting to be proud of. And she is willing to take the step of believing that Christ can lead us into all truth. And so I just want to honor her
So good.
for being who she is.
Yeah.
And that's really helped me to know I'm on the right path, that I don't have to live in fear of, making decisions that, oh, if you do that, you're gonna da da da. Not true, not true, not true. God is a God of love, and He loves us unconditionally, and the whole thing of, like, one of the things she brought out in the book was Jesus said not to resist evil. And I think that basically she was saying we're not supposed to judge what we see or think is evil, because when we judge, we bring that whole thing upon ourselves. What we judge is what we become.
Yeah.
So I'm just so thankful that you had Barbara come and share with us.
Yeah.
That we were exposed to somebody who is an awesome mother in the faith.
So good. Thank you, John. Thank you.
Yeah.
Janine and Kelly, go ahead.
Right on, John, because what we resist persists, right? We don't want to we're life-giving spirits. And if we judge and resist, we're causing that thing to expand. So that's huge. But I raised my hand because I love the whole thing about honoring Gaia. And I just wanted to share that I call her Mama Honua. That's Hawaiian for Earth. And I spent most of my childhood in Hawaii. So I call her Mama Honua. And I have been in conversation with her for the last several years, just in different experiences, just puttering around in my yard, my piece of earth beyond this one, because of course this is first, we bring it here first. This is the promised land. But just talking to her more and partnering with her more. And then this year, really learning, when we say grounding and we think grounding scientifically, which is a huge thing. It is huge. The scientific information is amazing and powerful. But there's a spiritual element to that too. The bottom line is we are the connection. We are the Vav between heaven and earth. We are the merging spirit and earth. And so we're one with her. And that is, people get a little freaked out about that. And I'm like, okay, but when Father created the earth, even in our stories, the way we've heard them, he said, it is good. So he poured his goodness in. So you're just engaging the goodness of God in that expression. Like there's nothing to be afraid of here. She's amazing and beautiful and has nurtured humanity for millennia. So, there's just so much there that we can engage and enjoy. This year, she highlighted to me something called electroculture. I had never heard of it before, but I am partnering with her in that just to harmonize the atmosphere and the earth in my property and my area. And it's really just pulling in the energy of the earth and sort of magnifying it for the sake of the plants and the animals and nature. It's fun. It's fun. She can be a lot of fun to engage. So I guess that's all I say.
So good. Thank you, Janine. And Marilee, and then we'll be wrapping up our public side, and then we'll move into John and Evelyn and the Afterbird. So go ahead, Marilee.
I just wanted to say, Janine, when you were talking, it brought to mind the scripture that says Christ is all and in all. So in Mother Gaia too. And we are one with her because we are one with Christ. Yeah.
Yep. So good. So good. Thank you, Marilee. All right. Well, I want to remind everybody that next week is the retreat. And so it starts on Thursday night, goes through Sunday. So Larry and Debbie will be hosting the gathering next week. And I'm sure they'll do an awesome, fine job. And again, what I love about this community is that it comes together because each of you love one another and want to be in community. So look forward to hearing some wonderful testimonies for next week. And also, hopefully, we'll have a chance, at least the following week, to share some of the testimonies from the retreat. Looking forward to it.
We're going to talk about meditation. So bring your thoughts and offerings on what you think of meditation in any aspect of it. But I'll share a few ideas that I've picked up. I'm reading a book about meditation from a Hebraic perspective. I'll maybe bring some of that. But just meditation, the things that we have done in the past, we just called it prayer, versus all kinds of to the point where we're doing breath work and all of that now. So yeah, it's all welcomed and a great discussion I'm looking forward to.
And
love it.
say something really quickly, Gil, just before you. I don't know if this is still on the recording, but I just wanted to communicate with my family here that the next 3 weeks I am leading in an online conference for our breathwork community. So my heart will be with you, my spirit will be with you. And Larry, I'm like, oh, we got to talk about meditation again another time because you know I love that, but I won't be here. Kelly's going to try to get on where he can. But I just didn't want everybody to be like, where'd she go? Like 3 weeks suddenly gone. So
Well, thank you for letting us know. I love that because again, that's family, it's communication, and we will miss you. Look forward to seeing you when you get back. All right. Well, love and blessings to all of you. Happy Mother's Day to everybody. Honor the women that are around you and bless them today. And I will see you in a couple weeks. So stick around for John and Evelyn and the Afterburn. And again, blessings to everyone. Love you all. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.